Now that I've described the three types of teasers out there, we need to be able to identify them. Unfortunately, determining whether your girlfriend is a teaser or a pleaser is not always that straightforward. You see, it's not so obvious which one she is. Teasers are very good at pretending to be someone they're not, especially if they're trying to get something they want, such as you to propose marriage. They are adept at perception. That's how they operate. And men are terrible at picking up on the clues that she is a teaser. Why is that? Because they use their eyes and not their ears. Let me repeat that. It is what you hear and not what you see which will help you to discover the truth about her. One example, I was visiting a young couple's home for dinner. While we were sitting down over the meal, she talked constantly how her boyfriend wasn't pulling his weight around the house and how he wasn't going to play house with her. When she wasn't complaining, she talked about how many kids they were going to have. OMG, total Earth Mother teaser. And what was he doing? Grinning moronically. I knew what he was thinking. She's hot and a great cook. What could go wrong? He was thinking and not listening. If you're not making her happy, it's time to go. Later, I heard they broke up after the cops had come to their house to break up the fighting. Seems it took him a very long time to realize that she was not the right woman. Okay, here are some broad hints that she's a teaser. Many teasers are liars. Lying comes very natural to them. And if you catch them lying, don't point it out, just remember the time and place. A big clue is complaining. Teasers are always complaining because things aren't going their way they want. You see, a teaser views your relationship as one that she must control. And for many women, complaining is how she wears you down to control you. Or she is naturally not a happy person. She may have her reasons, but why do they have to become your problems? Some teasers are prima donnas. They get overly emotional. They don't have the maturity to control their emotions. Some teasers are always short of money and expecting you to pay. This could be a clue to the spending habits and what you can look forward to. Teasers will pretend to be interested in what you're into up until the time they take control of your life. That day is usually the day after you cut the wedding cake. If she is a career teaser, you will hear her talk about her job often. It's her obsession. Same with children-obsessed teasers. They talk about how many you will have and what their names will be, and we'll be looking at baby clothes are clues. Being divorced more than once is a definite red flag. Something wrong, be very careful. But generally, it is not possible to determine whether she's a teaser. After all, women complain at times and get hysterical at times and talk about family and work, and they're not all teasers. So now we've come to the most important point I have to give you to help you decide. Since observation and listening are not enough, you must devise a test or a series of tests to determine the truth. Also, background checks are required. This is no time to take her word for it. Only this way can you be sure. Now, the type of test is one that you will have to devise as you know her best. But before we get into this, let me clarify why we're doing this. Why does it matter whether she is a teaser or a pleaser? To answer this, I have a question for you. What do you think is the most important value in a marriage? I'll tell you what it is. Forgiveness. Because sooner or later, you're going to screw up. And how she reacts is going to determine whether your marriage is going to last. A pleaser may not forget, but she will forgive, giving you an opportunity to be a better husband. Now, what kind of test? One where she's either going to forgive you or not. I can give you an example. A good friend of mine joined my buddies for a boys' night out. We all get together at a watering hole and have a few laughs. So on this occasion, he got very drunk. I hazily remember him staggering out onto the sidewalk when we were leaving. Fortunately for him, he didn't live too far. Well, as you can guess, things were rough when he got home. His girlfriend wasn't there. He didn't make it to the John in time and threw up several times in the apartment. She came home, helped him wash up, clean up the mess. She didn't bitch about it, the fact that he had lost it the night before. It was a long, one-time thing, and now they're happily married. Now this isn't something that was planned ahead of time, but it just happened. But in a way, it proved that she could forgive, a quality you really want in a wife. Had she been a teaser, he would have never heard the end of it. There would have been ultimatums or rants. See, a teaser will use any indiscretion as a weapon against you. This is one of the ways teasers acquire and hold power over you. That way they can control and exploit you. Don't let this happen to you. Devise a test which you know will put your relationship under stress. A stress test will give you a clear picture of the woman you want to marry. Better before than afterwards. And most important, she is not to know you are testing her. Don't tell her you have watched this. If she knows, she'll be expecting the test and will, of course, pretend to forgive when she is just collecting ammunition for after the wedding. Here's another idea. Insist on a pre-nuptial agreement where she gets nothing from you. A teaser will not be happy about that if it reduces her chances of screwing you over. Do as full a background check as possible. I met a woman once who said if she couldn't find out all about a guy, where he lives, his life, etc., she wouldn't go out with him. Smart woman, I'd say. Use social media. Go to her workplace. Meet her family and friends. If divorced, try to meet her ex. Use whatever means are necessary. Remember, this is the most important decision you will probably make in your life. No time to be coy. In our next lesson, I'm going to talk about an example of a person in the news who decided to marry without doing his due diligence. It is a perfect example of what not to do, and yet men often decide who to marry just like him. See you in the next lesson.